Start at the beginning and keep going until the end, and then stop. Was some words of wisdom from Alice in Wonderland, from the king, right? And we've got to remind ourselves of that. Start at the beginning. Sometimes in life we don't know where to start. You know, we get to a place where we're like, okay, we get some awareness. Where do I start? Start at the beginning and keep going till the end. Very simple. Very simple instructions for the brain. You know, let's not overcomplicate life. Just start. Start at the beginning. What's stopping you from beginning? Well, where are you going first of all? You've got to know where you're going. Where are you going in your life? Right? It's something you didn't learn in school. You didn't sit down in school and write out your mission for life, your purpose, your vision, your goals, your milestones. Did you do that in school? I certainly didn't. And nobody I know did that. Because you don't learn that stuff in school. You have to do it for yourself, because when you do stuff like that, it's incredibly empowering and it gets you focused and it gets you creates a compelling future in which to move towards. You know, why aren't we moving towards our compelling future? Why aren't more people doing it? Why aren't they? Well, a lot of stuff comes up. There's doubt, right? Doubt stops us from, doubt paralyzes us, right? The doubt of, can we do it? Can we make it? And the doubt of, maybe we can't do it, maybe we can't make it, makes us shrink. Stop playing small, start playing in your life, right? Start playing full out in your life. That, I guess, is my inspiring message for today, is to stop playing small and start playing full out in your life. And you got to start. You just got to start at the beginning, wherever that is for you. Maybe it is a case of just sitting down with a blank sheet of paper and getting very clear and writing out everything in your life that you want to achieve and you want to move towards, and what's going to have give meaning for you, right? But what comes up? Doubt comes up. You know, you'll have doubts. So how do you overcome doubt? Well, you overcome doubt with action. But how do you get into action? You got to start with a little bit of faith. You overcome doubt by having a little bit of faith, right? Because even when we do anything that's beyond what we've done before, when we step into the unknown, when we do any sort of creative pursuit or process, doubt is going to be there. And we must have faith. For example, right now, I'm going to be speaking for roughly 10 minutes. I don't have a script in front of me. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. Actually, I have really no idea. I might get just one little spark of inspiration, one sentence. And the one for today was start at the beginning, keep going till the end, and stop. And that's what I started with. And I keep going. And so I've got to have some faith, even though there's still some doubt there that this video might not work out. It might be crap. I might, even though I very rarely delete them and edit them, I usually just go for it and they work out. Yeah. But that has come through continuously doing it and getting better at it, right? But there's still some doubt there. Of course there is. There's always doubt. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize, but the people that they might admire in their life and they want to emulate in some way, they think that that person is different to them. They think that person didn't have the doubts that they have. But that's not true. Even the person, when they see them at their pinnacle, they still have doubts. Everybody will still have doubts, no matter what. Yeah? No one is walking around completely sure of themselves, everything they do. Well, that's something called arrogance. And arrogant people are just putting on a show, right? They're trying to protect themselves from their inferiority complex, right? By putting on a superiority show, right? There's no such thing as a superior person. There's no such thing as an inferior person. We're people, right? We are. It's only the idea in the mind that we're either inferior or superior, or that somebody else is either superior or inferior. That puts us in a place. If we're feeling superior to others, what we're actually doing is just covering up our inferiority by putting on this mask. Right? If we're being inferior, if we're feeling inferior, it's because we're projecting a superiority. We're thinking that others are superior. The only way we can feel inferior is if we believe that others are superior to us. And if we're being superior, if we're feeling that we are superior and we are superior to others, what we're actually doing is we're masking our own insecurity, our own inferiority. So by letting those things go, by letting go of the superiority, by letting go of the inferiority, then we come to a balanced place where we see all as equal, and we stop oscillating on the inferiority, superiority roller coaster. And we can be on this even keel, and we'll be able to operate much, much better. We don't see a divide. Well, we don't see a divide with others. We don't see that person is different to me because they're less than me, or that person is different to me because they're more than me. Both of those ideas are hindering your own personal growth. If you think that, it's hindering your own growth. So we must be able to let go of that thing, because that is a program, a disempowering and limiting program that gets put into our mind at some time in life, in childhood or whatever, in school, wherever. We get programmed with the whole inferiority, superiority program, right? So delete that program, and you start deleting it by becoming aware of it. And then we don't see such a divide between us and others. So why are you playing small in your life? Why aren't you being all you can be? Why aren't you just going out there and doing everything you can do to expand in all areas, in all ways, to just really live your life to the full? Why aren't you doing that? Well, some will say, well, I am. But there's another level you can't see, and sometimes you need somebody else to show you that other level that you can't see. Some people say they are, but it's because they're surrounding themselves with a group of people, and they're playing at a higher level than that group of people, so they think that's the highest level. But you can take that person, you can put them in another group of people who are playing life at a much higher level, and that person will suddenly realize that, wow, there is so much more. Right? So by surrounding ourselves with groups of people, we will be able to lift ourselves up or bring ourselves down. Then there are people that say, well, I don't want to be greedy. I don't want any more. I don't need to. I'm just kind of happy being mediocre. I don't need to kind of do anything great or different. That's all ego stuff or whatever. And that person's just lying to themselves. They're lying to their heart. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I wish I had less money. No one wakes up in the morning and says, I wish I had less energy. I wish my health was in a poorer state. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I wish I had less fun. I wish my relationships weren't as good. I wish less people liked me in the world. I wish I had less success. I might give my boss a call and say, can you pay me less? I might call my book publisher and say, hey, look, don't put my books, don't do too good for my books. So I don't want to be like a bestseller or anything. No one does that, right? So anyone that says that, no one thinks like that. So anyone that says that, I don't really want more, that's just an excuse and a justification to play small because they're afraid. They've doubt, right? So it's in this place of denial. So that's why I want to be able to snap you out of that, as I consistently try to snap myself out of it, and I do snap myself out of it. And hopefully I can snap you out of it as well, and say, come on. Are you in the game of life to win or what? Are you in it to lose? Are you in it to be mediocre? Because there will be wins and losses, for sure. But who wants to be in that grey area of mediocrity? Who wants to be there? No one really. No one really wants to be there. It's just a place of comfort zone, Don't want to get hurt, don't want this, don't have disappointment. Don't want my doubts to be realized as truth. Your doubts aren't truth. Your doubts are just there so you can have some courage to overcome them. Yeah? Because if you didn't have that, then you'd just be a robot, right? And no one sees a robot as being a hero in life, because a robot's just programmed to do something and just does it, right? Being a hero is someone who breaks their programming and does something that they're not programmed to do. So that's what I want to do. I want to help you break down your programming. Why have you limited yourself in some ways in your life? Sometimes you've got to look back to childhood and say, why have I limited myself? What happened back then? Who told me I couldn't do this, or who put me in this box, or who gave me this label that said that I'm this or that or the other, or I can't do it. You know, I had a very awakening moment when I had my own martial arts studio, and I had, but never more than 15 students came into my room. The very first night I opened, 14 students came in. I thought, wow, the whole thing's just going to blow up, right? And it stayed 14, 12, 10, 15, 14, 12, 10, 9, 15. Never went above 15. For like 2 years or something, after having this studio where I was teaching, never went above 15. And I was like, this is really interesting. It just never seemed to go above 15. And then I remembered, because I was contemplating, I was meditating on it. And then I remembered, as a teenager, my kickboxing instructor saying, you never want to have any more than 15 people in your dojo, because then you can't teach properly. One teacher can't handle any more than 15, otherwise it all gets diluted and it's just not going to be as good. Or words to that effect. And so I had it in my head, you don't have more than 15, you don't have more than 15. And something happens that is beyond, you know, there's a power within us, right? And it wasn't like I was like stopping the 16th person at the door or something like that. Or there was a sign up saying only 15 people are allowed in this room. You know, but no more than 15 people came in. And as soon as I had that realization that that was a limiting belief that I had, that was put on to be by someone who I had on a pedestal at the time, which was my kickboxing instructor, and that belief sunk into me. When I realized that it was bullshit, you know, because I'd had other instructors after that who'd had much more students in the room, and everybody learned and got better. And I suddenly realized, and the program just collapsed in on itself. And the very next night, 16 people walked into the room. 16 people walked into the room, first time in 2 years, of 4 or 5 classes a week. That happened. And there must have been 50 times when it was 15 people, never 16, until I had that realization. The next night, 16 people. Then a couple of weeks later, 18 people, 20 people. There's a power, you know, that's in our unconscious that creates things around us. So by breaking down those limiting programs, suddenly things happen. Sometimes we look at people and go, well, how do they do all that? You know? And we seem to struggle sometimes with certain things. And it's just because they've broken down some of the programs. That's the only difference. There's no difference, there's no superiority. Sometimes you're coming to a realization of programming. Sometimes we get viruses installed in us growing up that limit us. But we can get rid of those viruses, right? And that's why you're watching this video right now. I'm just bringing this to your awareness so you can break down some of the programming that you've received that's limiting you in your life. So you stop playing small and you start playing full out on a higher level. And I guess that's all I've got to say about that.